Hello, I'm Dr. Carol Clark. I'm president of the International Transgender Certification Association. And today I'm talking with Jordan Jakomin, and he's going to talk to us about voice therapy for transitioning people. So take it away, Jordan.
Well, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. My name is Jordan, and I use he, him pronouns. And I'm a queer speech language pathologist and gender affirming voice coach. I have an online private practice where I work with trans, non-binary, and gender non-conforming youth and adults on voice and communication skills, just to help them build more confidence and be affirmed in who they are.
Wonderful. Now, do you work with people transitioning both way to a more masculine and more feminine presentation?
Yeah. Definitely. So I work with and on both types of voices. So I like to define voices. Well, I always use the vocabulary my clients use. Some will say I want a more feminine voice or a more masculine voice, but I like to characterize voices as deeper, darker, lower, and lighter, brighter, and higher. And so I work across the spectrum and will guide my clients on if they want a lighter, brighter voice, deeper, darker voice, or a combination of both, or somewhere in the middle, depending on what their unique goals are.
And how do you generally work with people? So if I am transitioning, I call you up or contact you, and we'll get your contact information at the end here. What would I expect?
Yeah, so the first thing I do is have a 20-minute consultation. So I'll just find out what your goals are in terms of voice and communication, and then also just get to know you on a more personal level and to find out, yeah, what your goals are. And then after that, the program is super individualized to what someone's unique goals are, but there are some current themes that I work on with clients, and that's working on pitch. So how high or low the sound of one's voice is. So whether they want to increase or decrease their pitch and in a safe and effective way. And how I find out what a great starting point is for somebody is by doing an initial voice evaluation, because you don't want to jump up too high or too low because it might cause vocal tension. So it's really important to find out where somebody's starting point is from the get-go. So that's something we work on. I'll also work on something called resonance, which is how to manipulate the sound inside a space. So you can think about this as like a violin and a cello. A violin has a smaller space, so the sound that comes out of a violin is brighter or lighter, whereas a cello has a bigger space, so the sound that comes out of a cello is going to be deeper, darker. So I'll teach people how to manipulate the size and shape of their vocal tract, which is the throat and mouth, in order to sound more like a violin or cello. And then another category we work on is intonation. So this is how we convey emotions and attitudes. Here's an example of a difference between staccato versus legato like speech patterns. So legato would be more like blending, like, hi, how are you? And staccato would be more choppy, hey, how are you? So I tend to not label things as masculine or feminine, because what even is a masculine voice? What even is a feminine voice? There's not one way that masculinity looks or sounds. So I kind of show my clients all of the options that they can work with, and then they can pick and choose what feels affirming to them, as opposed to me pushing what my definition of femininity or masculinity is.
Okay. And do you have any examples somewhere that if we wanted to hear, or testimonials?
Yeah. So on my website, jordanrosscommunication.com, I have a whole page of testimonials there. And I do have voice samples of before and after. And I've gone back and forth whether or not I want to post them online, just because I don't necessarily want people comparing and contrasting because it's so different. But when clients ask for, say if I'm in an initial consultation and clients are like, can I hear a voice sample of before and after? I have lots of permission from clients that I've worked with in the past where I'm able to show that to clients, some before and afters, but I don't put it directly on my website. I also have an Instagram account where I've been posting some short videos of like tips and tricks on how to find your most authentic voice.
Wonderful. I'll make sure I post that on YouTube under this video. And of course, everybody wants to know what it costs. So what is
Yeah,
the cost
yeah.
range?
So it varies depending on like a package that somebody has, whether they want to do a 10 session bundle or do individualized packages right now. So usually I only discuss costs one-on-one in our like consultation. But if somebody's interested in figuring out costs, they can send me an email and I'll send them my welcome packet with the pricing. But it depends. So it's working with marginalized communities. I think it's important. A lot of the people I work with are able to afford services, but there's a big group of people that are trans and non-binary and gender non-conforming that can't afford the services. So what I try to do, aside from like doing volunteer workshops, is to create groups. So if someone's not able to pay the price that I have, I try to like make it work where I am working with clients on like a sliding scale where services are more affordable for them, whether it is like a group format or like a pro bono case.
Okay, that sounds wonderful. All right. Is there anything else you want to share with whoever's listening to this video?
I guess I'm super grateful for the job I have. I love the work that I do. So if you have any questions about voice and communication in general, you can reach out at any time through my website or through Instagram, and I'd be happy to answer any other questions that someone might have.
Okay, thank you so much, Jordan. And thank you everyone for listening.